This video is going to be about the afterlife and the world to come. These two concepts are sometimes used interchangeably, and I want to clarify that a little bit because they are not exactly the same thing. So the Bible never explicitly mentions what it is that happens after we die. And the two concepts mentioned in the oral traditions are the afterlife and the world to come. So to understand these a bit better, we need to go back to the origins of death. Death came into existence when in Eden, Adam and Eve were tasked with eating from everything and all the trees and all the land and not eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And God told them, the day that you eat of the fruit of that tree, you will bring death into the world. And as we know, sure enough, they ate from it, they sinned, and they brought death into existence. The tree of life was never banned. And after the expulsion from Eden, God put the cherubs and the flame of a whirling sword, a sword that turns in all directions, to keep the path to the tree of life under guard. Not forbidden, but under guard. And this is crucial. Now Moses tells the children of Israel that the Torah is their life and their wisdom and their understanding. Proverbs says that the Torah is the tree of life to those who seek to embrace it. The commandments written in the Torah were given to living people. They are living commandments. It's a living Torah. We are not meant to be preoccupied with what happens after we die. The oral traditions make mention of it, but the written Torah does not. And the Bible, I think, in general, whether it's the Old or New Testament, but I'm not versed in the New Testament, either way, the Hebrew Bible does not make mention of what happens after we die, because we are not meant to be preoccupied with it. Whatever will be, will be. We are here to do a job. We are here to live this life in this world and do what we can for ourselves and for all creation. So that's the afterlife. Now, there's a second part to this, which is the world to come. The world to come is not the world you get to after you die. The world to come is the name given to that new era, that new existence, which will come to pass when we as a unified human race, that's how I see it, go back to Eden, go back to the tree of life and partake of it the way we were initially meant to. After we were cast out of Eden, it was as if we were a bottle made of glass that fell and was shattered into innumerable pieces. And we are all now, each individual with their own task, their own existence, is trying to put a piece back together so that we might build up that vessel and go back to Eden, back to the tree of life, and partake of it the way we were meant to from the beginning. And then, once that is done, there will be this new world that we call the world to come. The world to come is not the one you get to after you die. One of my rabbis of old likened it to a computer with an operating system. While you are here in a living body, in this world, in this life, you have an operating system, a frame that you work within. And after you die, it gets tweaked a little bit and it changes into a different one, which we can't necessarily fathom right now. And in the world to come, there is yet another operating system, a different way of being, which is unknown to us right now, and that's why it's called the world to come. It's the world that is coming towards us, that we are building towards, but we can't exactly see how it's taking shape quite yet. The Nazirite vow, in particular, since the Nazirite is meant to embrace life and abstain from death, the Nazirite is a symbol for this thread of life, this idea of overcoming death, of going back to the place where we failed and succeeding and overcoming the punishment that we received back in the day. So I'll talk about it in a few different videos, I hope. For now, let's have a good one.